better leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. The feels not falling for the FOMO. Listening to coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
40.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
GM, welcome to Coffee with Captain. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate y'all being here. I'm Cap, new co-host today, but we are live over on Abstract and YouTube, as well as the X video feed. And as always, we're our main platform of choice is the X audio spaces. A lot to get into. Another special guest. We got a segment coming up around 8:45 for 15, 20 minutes or so. And I'm curious, I'll stop the troubleshooting here soon at some point in the near future. But for our abstract chat, I'm getting an error on StreamYard. The stream is live, but is it live? Are you guys seeing the abstract stream coming through? I have yet to log out and log back in, as I don't want to make it more challenging. I have a feeling at some point I'm going to be forced to do that by abstract, but I was trying to hold on to the old setup just because it was easier to manage the simulcasting. But and maybe we're not live over there yet. Either that or Katie is missing. Teacher Katie not with us this morning. Usually our first GM. Mel, I saw Mel jumped in the Spaces chat first and then bounced out, but I can attest she was first once again this morning. Fun show yesterday. Enjoyed our guest. Got a lot of feedback actually regarding DOMA. I know domains may not be for everyone. Some of you might be out there hunting 1000X, but I meant when I said yesterday, it's been refreshing to work with some adults in the room, some people, with some really extensive Web 2 backgrounds, a lot of success, very well funded, and working to bring the world on chain, at least a segment of it, a $350 billion market at that, and really enjoyed that. If you missed it, I'll link. Yeah, I'll link a post from D3. D3 is DOMA's parent company. I pinned that up top. Maybe go give that some love this morning as well. And I think the first comment in there is the full show, but also you can find that on YouTube. And I'm curious. I'm wondering. I'm thinking Abstract is probably not live. I think we might have finally broken Abstract. But before we go there, GM YouTube. YouTube is the new spot. Mel, you might have to venture over to the YouTube streets. I'm sure you've already hit the like and subscribe button over there, but you might need to bring your talents to YouTube. Thomas, Web3 Warhead, Absolute Zero, Block Mage, excuse me, Machiavelli, Osiris, all Dillo, everyone pumping those YouTube chat numbers. Greatly appreciated. And I know we're not trying to drive people off of X. We're not going anywhere. We just I need to ask for a little more. X is, I don't want to say it's on autopilot. Still takes a little bit of work, but in X Spaces discoverability can be all over the place sometimes, and sometimes hit or miss. But most of our regulars eventually find us here, even if it takes a little bit to get things warmed up. Whereas YouTube is the push. Really want to get to those 500 subs over there so we can unlock some new features. Teacher Katie, I see you out in the Spaces chat now. Can you check Abstract real quick? I think Abstract might be down. I'm getting an error on the back end in StreamYard, but I did go live. I hit the start live stream. It's just not. It shows offline on my end, but it should be live. I've not logged out and logged back in, so we might be abstractless today. Jesus, GM, welcome up this morning.
GM bro. Oh, we got an echo.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I can hear myself.
Joey,
not anymore. Now I'm good.
It's so weird. The same exact thing happened to Joey yesterday when he was the first one that popped up. He briefly heard an echo himself. I didn't hear it, and they said nope, it went away. I have no idea what that might be. That's a new one. And if no one else hears it, we don't need to troubleshoot. Weird. But yeah, that is very weird.
Let me keep talking because I think it's like it comes and goes.
Man, I don't know if it's the next thing.
It's so difficult. Like none of the equipment wants to work together. Like StreamYard doesn't want to work with X and all the destinations, and then Roadcaster. Like we figured out yesterday that none of my sounds through my browser, like my Roadcaster, does not like them. I would be better off taking another device or just playing music through my speakers. I do not understand.
I'm telling you, man, there's if AI takes over all the human jobs and all that's left is creators and streamers and podcasters, by that time, Jesus, we literally have a career just in troubleshooting these incompatible technologies, this incompatible hardware. I don't want to move people off X. Payne would love everyone to move off X. Don't do that. Don't block us. Don't mute us. But do our producer Payne a solid. Also for the intro video, for the jingle enjoyers, we have a world premiere today. I think the only people who've heard this jingle is Payne and myself. Not even our sponsors heard the jingle. I don't think. Maybe he slid it over to him and they signed off on it. I did not. We're just going live with a world premiere jingle on Coffee with Captain around 8:45 this morning. And I'll just say if you're like me and you grew up on Biggie and Tupac and greatly appreciate old school rap and hip hop, you will appreciate today's jingle. Don't miss it. 8:45. Don't go anywhere. It'll be great to have a full house in here for our sponsored segment today, featuring a fine builder, and looking forward to that. But man, I didn't need that mayhem. I'm just gonna say that I did not. And FFE's not out there yet, but I will say that to his face too when he joins us. Don't be taking shots at my beloved Mega ETH. Don't, please. My bags. It's actually one of the few like speculative bags I have that I've been holding for a while that I would like to capitalize on at some point this year. But I digress. Mel, we'll get to you in a second. The other. I have a couple of like not even like cold open topics. They're actually crypto topics. So we can riff for a bit, and then I put them in the cold open section, but they are they're not really cold open. Chad is on one today though. Diablito calls it Mega Weeth. That's pretty funny. Diablito, underrated funny guy. You know, he comes across this really serious hardcore cowboy doing the blue collar work with the horses. It says we celebrate an abstract August today. Also got me to LOL. and then calls it Mega Weeth. Pretty funny. Yeah, probably Nikita listening on Spaces. Nikita gets a lot of hate. I don't know, man. I think he's cleaning up the app. I'm not going to be the Nikita defender, but I think things are actually moving in the right direction on X. I have a wooden desk, so I'm knocking on that wood. I don't know if that comes from the speakers or not. But Mel, GM, always a pleasure. Tell me the secrets. How can I live to be well into my hundreds without being stinky?
I don't know. Grow up on a farm poor, I guess, is the answer to that. But one, she says you sound great. Two, I don't leave and like ditch the space captain. I just refreshed the comments to make sure I was first.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, if you missed it, Mel's grandmother aging in reverse, doesn't look old, doesn't even smell, and your audio is super crisp. I agree. Mel and Cheese is both super crisp audio. So despite us knocking incompatible hardware and incompatible technologies, both of you sound like you have a radio voice.
Oh, interesting, because I'm only using an iPhone.
Oh, hey, you know what? Payne, real time. I meant to share this with you, and I keep forgetting, but real time, maybe evolution of the show here. We've talked about a camera for a while, and I just have not pulled the trigger because it's like one of those things. Once you start going down that rabbit hole, you can get a decent like a really good camera for like $600-700. But once you start going down that rabbit hole, then all of a sudden it's like, well, I can get this is a little better, and I could get this lens, and now you're looking at like $3,500 for a camera. That do I really need that just for live streaming? Like, well, if I buy the camera, then we'll do more, maybe cap on the street. We'll do more in-person podcast interviews at some of these conferences. And I just keep going back and forth. Do we just bite the bullet and get the $600-700 most commonly used streamer camera? Or do I go all in and become a real professional in the space? Here's what I'll say. I shared recently, as we troubleshot going to the new phone, picked up one of the new iPhone, not newish iPhone 17 Pros, not even the Pro Max, just the Pro. And I guess they're identical except for size. The Pro Max has a little longer battery life because it's bigger footprint. I do not have Kawhi Leonard hands. They're not small, but I just I had a Max on one of my old phones, and I'd prefer the smaller form factor, both for my pocket and just to be able to navigate a little easier. Point being, long story short, where I'm going with this, the camera on these iPhone 17 Pros, it's insane. It's actually insane. I don't know about the forward-facing camera. I haven't taken any selfies with it yet, and it's limited use. But for my daughter's game on Tuesday, I'm used to you could zoom in on. I don't know. I think I had a 14 Pro and a 14 Pro Max, and you can zoom in and they're fine. But both video and the still photos, the zoom, it's a crisp picture all the way in at 8x. I was kind of blown away with in my brain. I'm just thinking incremental improvements in cameras on the iPhones. Now, granted, I guess I waited 3 generations, so I went from 14 to 17, so maybe not to be surprised. But first time in a while that I was kind of wowed with an iPhone feature. And my question to you, Payne, was going to be, should we hook that thing up? Should I flip that thing around, get mount the iPhone camera and use that as our, instead of the MacBook webcam, the built-in webcam, I'm certain the iPhone camera, video camera is better than what is in this, I think, 2021 MacBook. Speaking of MacBooks, anyone help educate me? These new MacBook Neos you can, but don't use it for X. Yeah, I do, but I could use the new iPhone for the video, and I could go. This iPhone. Let me check what model it is. It's fine for Spaces. It works just fine for Spaces. It's just the only.
Sometimes I grab my iPhone instead of my professional camera that I spent thousands of dollars on. So I feel it.
So, when you're talking for your kids' sports or what?
Yeah, I bought a pretty badass setup, and sometimes I just reach for the iPhone because it's so good now.
Yeah, it's really incredible. They've come a long way, and I know for a minute I got kind of bearish Apple that they were falling behind in the AI race. I think they've probably now completely 180'd. I think they're probably made the smartest, savviest move for some of the big giants. And where others are spending trillions, they're going to spend $1 billion a year licensing Gemini from Google, which is if not at the top of the list in terms of these LLMs. And they're keeping the lead on the hardware front.
With all the fine tuning that you can do in the camera, like it's almost a semi-professional camera in itself, really. I mean, once you really get down the rabbit hole on the iPhone cameras, but you could probably certainly use it.
Yeah, and I haven't even done that. I just did like the fine tuning. I would hit like action mode, for like sports or whatever, and the videos are awesome. Like I was really impressed without doing any fine tuning, just using the features baked into it. They have I've not played around with a new toy for a while, and big fan. So another game tonight. Looking forward. I will experiment a little more, and maybe now I have moved to the actual keyboard and mouse, so I'm not bounding away on the computer and the video is bouncing on the MacBook all the time. But I do think we could use a video camera upgrade at some point. Anyways, no one else cares about that except for Payne and myself. So we'll get back to the topic at hand. I mentioned like kind of cold open, not really. I've got two things before we get into markets that I wanted to hit on. One, thoughts, condolences. Glad they're okay. If you missed it, Silly Tuna shared this yesterday. OG Punk said $24 million theft of AUSD involved violence, weapons, kidnap, and rape threats. Obviously, police involved. Please pass along to those who trace such things. And now, definitely out of crypto. Still have my limbs. Whew. He says, bruised, held off what I could, but couldn't do that much with axes over your hands and feet. Gives me chills. Scary stuff.
So this happened to Silly Tuna?
Yeah. Yep.
Holy fuck.
Yep.
Jesus.
I'm not knocking Silly Tuna, but the takeaway from this is, first of all, if you have, I mean, not even 24 million, if you have 7, especially 8 figures of crypto, you shouldn't
afford security.
Well, or don't have it all in one place. Like I don't have $24 million in crypto, but I have crypto that, and most of my I have public wallets, my hot wallet's public, my NFT vault is public, but I have crypto it's my. I'm not going to get into details, but hardware wallets aren't here. Like even when I do have access to in real time, my stuff is in a safe, and in that safe is my Glock. Now, do I want someone to try to wrench attack me and threaten me with axes and stuff? No, but I will defend myself if someone tries to break into my home.
But see, the problem in Australia, you can't carry, you can't have a gun, you can't do these things. So like, just like 2 days ago, my neighbor texted like the whole group of us and said, "Hey, our Ring camera caught somebody trying to open our front door." And this is like 6 o'clock in the morning. And when I went back and checked mine, I had seen an alert from my camera, because my camera will it'll censor anything. A lot of times it's just like an animal or something. And I went and looked, and the guy didn't even make it to my step. And my camera kind of chirps at you if you get close.
Yep.
So the guy, like, I didn't even see the figure on the one camera. And when I seen that text, I'm like, okay, but I sleep with a gun right next to my bed. There's guns all over my house that are secured, but they're there. So it's like, but I have friends in Australia. You can own guns, but it's very, very difficult. But it's also a point to me. It's like Silly Tuna is like, one, how much are you flaunting your money? Two, that had to be somebody that knew him on a personal level,
probably,
or he invited to parties, or So it's like, do you really have to show shit off? And I mean, it sucks.
Even if not, I mean, even if you're not flaunting or showing stuff off, if you've been in this space for a while and your wallets are connected, like it doesn't take a whole lot. I would say, even if you have a punk PFP, well, they know you've got at least 60 some $1,000 and probably more. Most people with a punk that's should be probably less than 10% of their, digital assets. I would guess. I don't know. I mean, everyone's different, but
yeah.
I guess my bigger point being is, if you hoard any sort of material wealth, don't have it on your person. Don't have it in your home. Get a security lockbox somewhere. Store your seed phrases offsite. Like, don't give you like. My game is like, I have long-term ETH and I have long-term Bitcoin that I don't touch. I can't access it today. Even if I wanted, if someone came today and said, "Hey, give me your Bitcoin, I'll give you some dust." I'll close my Hyperliquid long and you can have that ETH. By the way, that printed. We're going to talk markets
This
in a bit.
is why privacy coins are super important, and there's some stuff you're not going to be able to, hide on the blockchain. But do you think you think people are really going to want yeah, you can go on Zillow and see what somebody paid for a house on the last sale. And there's public information you can go dig and get. But like a lot of blockchain transactions, people are not going to do normal blockchain transactions and go grocery shopping and go like where you're going to be able to see every single thing. Eventually, one day, we hope that you'll pay your electric bill in USDC and you'll do it. But if that's all on chain and people can actually go see what you're paying for all of your daily needs, like it's not going to happen. So like the privacy is going to be a big thing, whether these banks and whoever create their own chains, or they incorporate with a big, with a chain that has a really good privacy. That's why do you think Vitalik's sitting here jeeting all his Z? I mean, not Zeet. I'm sitting here looking at Zeet. Sorry. Why do you think he's jeeting all of his ETH and putting it into privacy endeavors? Because he believes that we're going to see mass adoption on a institutional scale where all of these banks, you're already seeing the 24/7 or was it 24/5 crypto stock trading, but a lot of things are going to end up needing a privacy layer, and this could have solved this, but I mean, who really knows?
Yeah,
but I hate it for him and his family.
Exactly. I do want to be empathetic. It sucks. Like, no one deserves that, and not playing, not trying to make it, not trying to like make it less of an issue or downplay what happened. Like, sucks. Like that is scary.
Even though he went through the event, he had to, obviously he got free. He's seen his captors. They had to catch him, or, it's not like, oh, he ran away with 24 million and there's no investigation. So I would imagine he might end up getting some of the money back, or getting the money back, or.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm guessing they had masks and stuff. I don't know. They probably kill him. Like, I've watched enough movies to where, like, if you're kidnapped or you're held hostage or ransom, if they see your face like that, it's kind of like 101 from criminal mind standpoint.
That's wild, bro. But I mean, you have that much money. I'm sorry. You can afford 150 grand a year. Write that shit off and hire a former service member to, protect you.
Yeah, well, just don't have it in your house. Like, there shouldn't be, I mean, unless you're, I don't know what the number would have to be. Definitely well over 100 million, if not billions, to where you're actively trading $24 million plus at a time. If a lot of that is long-term, and hey, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe he puts 20 million offsite and he still has 4 million on his person and they still do it for 4 million. It's still a lot of money. I guess my recommendation, my security advice would be store wealth offsite. Don't have it accessible. You're probably not tapping into it on a daily basis. Make it a little more challenging to get. So you don't do something silly with it and FOMO into something, but also more importantly for your own safety and security. Anyways, I hope he recovers. I hope they find the wrongdoers, and yeah, just scary. It's scary. You see stuff.
I didn't know they created a meme coin about him.
Of course they did.
Nuts.
Yeah.
I'm going through his tweets right now, and he's like, he said they threatened to murder the cats. Poor beast was so upset. I was worried they'd kill her or she'd escape, and got lost, but found her eventually. One of our cats hid in a bucket.
Wow.
Yeah. Fucking wild.
My dog would tear some faces off, I'm pretty sure. He is not that I ever want to test that, but yeah, I've had some feral cats that would scrape some people, but dude, he gets his guard dog mode when someone comes that he's not aware of, and man, he about made the pool guy shit himself last week.
But here's the thing: even if they took the money, they left, they went about their business, and they're laying there in the house crying, whatever. Like, these people still have to bridge this money off in some way. They have to get it off chain. Otherwise, like, what good is it? And if it's on any chain or if it's on any exchange, the funds can be frozen. The funds can be locked up. So, and we've seen it happen before. So I don't, is he going to be, I don't know. This dude's tweeting way too fucking much. I wouldn't be tweeting this much if I just lost $24 million.
I guess, not to play devil's advocate, but is that also not the downside of privacy chains and privacy coins? Because I think some are already on the move. I think I saw that some of the 24 already went over to Monero, and Joey, I think it's a you thing. Did anyone else lose audio on X? He said he's on X desktop. I think we're good, Joey. Joey probably can't hear me if you lost audio, but I do think it's a you thing.
But can't the exchange still see the transactions? Can't they still freeze the wallet that is holding the liquidity?
I don't. I mean, maybe. I don't think so. I don't think so on Monero or Zcash. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I think that's part of their pitch, if you will, is it's private, it's uncensorable, and yeah, I think so. While it's good for the holders of that, it also can be, make it easier for criminals and bad actors to steal money, whether it be by phishing attacks or wrench attacks, and then ultimately get away with it, get it off ramped. But I know that centralized exchanges aren't for everyone. I know ETFs aren't for everyone. Those of us are here, we're crypto natives. Like, I would never put my money in an ETF. I think that's where the masses are going to go. A lot of speculation I see related to privacy and participation is those that want true privacy would just access the ETFs, which is both interesting and funny.
Yeah, I just asked Grok, and Zcash nor Monero can lock, freeze, or blacklist any account.
Yeah,
at the protocol level.
So again, just if you're sitting on 8 figures of wealth on chain, it would be in your best interest to at least attempt to obfuscate that, to put some of that in privacy, get some of it out of your house, get a lockbox at a bank somewhere. And I also think, like, I hold funds on Coinbase. Like, some of you are going to laugh at that, but I feel it's safe. Like, I feel it's safe on both fronts. I feel it's safe that I really don't think anything's going to happen to Coinbase at this point. By the way, we talk about all markets ripping up 15% on the day. What in the world is going on at Coinbase? Just bonkers movement for Coin, the token, the stock rather. Same thing, Robinhood up almost 10% on the day. I don't think they're going anywhere. I feel pretty safe having funds there. And it's now, I guess if someone tries to wrench attack me like that, could they make me log into my Coinbase account and send them funds? Sure. But I still think
I'm going to say, let me go get my ledger. Mm-hmm. And they walk with me, and then I reach into my safe to get an AR-15.
Yeah.
Or a 300 blackout.
I don't have an AR-15, but we'll I probably should.
Florida, bro. We got to get you one. Stand your ground.
Now that I've shared that I'm armed, I probably should. I don't think I've ever even fired this Glock. I mean, I fired guns, but I don't think I've ever fired this Glock. It's always been in my safe. So I probably should get out to a shooting range at some point. Degen shooting range outing coming soon. Coinbase going wild, coining everything. Hans, thank you very much for the tip. The most generous abstractor over there. And victory lapping in Florida as property tax is seemingly on the end of property tax, at least for homestead, your private primary residence, is the end is near. It appears in the state of Florida. We'll see if Zuck makes it his primary resident now that he owns a $110 million mansion on South Beach. One other topic before we get into the market update for the day, and I sent a post yesterday. I want to give them some love here on the show. I'm proud. I'm a proud community member. I'm proud of Dort and Law of the Saw and Marav. What they've done with Welcome Apes, it should be getting more attention, not just within the Bored Ape Yacht Club, but throughout crypto, any crypto native communities. Yesterday, they announced their welcome package experience. They launched a new website. New holders have 45 days to complete guided quests on welcomeapes.com, earning physical swag bag from fellow apes and partners. I saw you get swag in there from Ape Whale and his merch site, including some original merch. You get NFT Hoarder has some swag, a board hat, and otherwise, and more stuff. But just doing the thing. I said it yesterday. Like I truly believe it is arguably the best, if not the best, grassroots community-led initiative in all of NFT land, in all of the crypto native communities. Like what they've done is pretty impressive. They just continue to build, and just for the good of the club, good of the community. And this is the sort of stuff that I don't want to say it was a miss that it didn't exist 21, 22, but I have to wonder, had something like Welcome Apes and this warm welcoming that people get now when they join the club, have to wonder if this had existed back in the mania, how many of those individuals maybe make a connection or have an experience that they didn't have when things were just going crazy, that maybe they're still around, not just in the club, but in an active crypto participant. But go check it out, welcomeapes.com. The account on X is Welcome Apes, and they host a welcome party once a month on Spaces. And just again, big kudos to. It's more than just Dort, Law, the Saw, and Marav. Those just happen to be the ones that are, I think, kind of leading the initiative over there. As far as I know, Dort and Law, the Saw are still behind the Welcome Apes account, making all those welcomes. Marav did all the art and kind of really spearheading the initiative. You can see here the huge shout out to all their partners. I mentioned NFT Hoarder, Board Trading Co., Boring Merch, Ape Beverages, Board Brewing, other games, other Open Page, Board Ape Gazette, Night Gliders, Friends Chocolate, Ape Church, Board Ape Yacht Club, Ape Coin, and Ape Coin Hub. Just really, really impressive what they've done. And I think great for the space when people talk about, a lot of people like to say, oh, we've got a club or a community. It is a real club. It is a real community. And it's people like Dort and Law of the Saw, Marav that make it so great. So congratulations, well done, and thank you all for your leadership. We got about 15 minutes, 13 minutes, so I am going to jump right into a market update. But Joey, I saw you jumped up. Did you have anything you wanted to get in there before I move over to the market update?
It was when you were talking about firearms, but you're past that now, so it's okay.
Payne is smiling. Dort says,
respectful of Payne.
He says thanks. Iterating as they go, site built to be easy to update and keep users informed, give new users a place to start and a path to follow. If you had any feedback, pass it along. They were taking feedback live in real time. I listened into the Welcome Ape space yesterday, and why? Welcome to Coffee Good Captain, where we can go from talking about guns and thieves to friends and community. No place like it. Appreciate iterating as they go, trying to keep new members informed, given the path to follow and get involved. And Joe, you gained some bonus points in Payne's book today. Make sure if you haven't already, go give that YouTube video a like and subscribe while you're over there. So talking markets, I mentioned Coinbase ripping up 15% on the day. Robinhood up 10% of the day. My long that I opened yesterday during the show is it just absolutely printed. It did put in a stop loss before I went to bed last night. It did not trigger, so we keep it open and we ride. And notably, fear and greed out of extreme fear. Depending on if you're looking at crypto fear and greed or just overall fear and greed, wavering in that 29 to low 30s, mid 30s range. I don't know what we're big. I don't know if that's Chat GPT. I'm trying to keep up on chats here, and that was I have to do one of those too long, didn't read. I'm sorry that happened, or congratulations. Looking at the last 24 hours, though, Bitcoin up 1%. It did run all the way up to 74-ish. ETH as well, pumped up to like 2,200. It's now 2,112, up 2.45% on the day. BNB basically flat. XRP up 1%. Solana up 1.2%. Doge up 2%. I think the really interesting thing, Chainlink up 4%. We were talking about them yesterday. Hyperliquid down slightly. I think the really interesting thing here is it's not just Bitcoin and ETH ripping. It's Bitcoin and ETH. It's a lot of stocks ripping, not just Coinbase and Robinhood, the crypto stocks, but gold up. It's just like markets are kind of humming. Obviously the Iran conflict continues, but it seems that as far as fear and greed goes, people are getting a little more comfortable, and that uncertainty index we talk about heading in the right direction. Quickly looking over at NFTs, Punks now up almost to 30 ETH again, back up over 60K. We've mentioned it on the show live that historically, once they start getting about 50K, kind of the floor, not just for Punks, but usually they hit 50K or close to it and they bounce. And we've seen not just Punks, but the NFT ecosystem bounce as well. Maybe it's a bear trap or a bull trap rather. Maybe we get a sustained rally here, but good to see things up. Pudgy's down 1% on the day to 4.45. Hyper's down 1%. Apes are flat at 6 ETH. Death and Taxes up another 10% after they introduced their evaders. So I was thinking that if you didn't pay your taxes or you ended up not following what you're supposed to do on a daily basis, your NFT will get burnt. While it does get burnt, you get another evaders in a different collection, up 10% on that news. Little Pudgy's basically flat. Moonbird's up 10% to 1.14. And we're talking about Tall Club scholarships. All kinds of interesting conversations happening this morning. I'm trying to keep it all together. Mutants down 0.4%. Quirkies, maybe first day they've had a dip, although it's 0.02. They'll probably be back up again. Still running right at 1.09. Normies up big after a dip. They're back up over mint, now up 22% on the day. Quinn by Larva Labs, I forgot about that one. Azuki flat. Plague. That's not the plague that we think of. I don't think anyways, but looks like a new mint, 1,000 sales in the last day. Same thing with, Axie still doing some volume. Nibbles, congratulations. They minted out. I think 3.2 or 0.0327 is still above mint price. Congratulations to Mwahaha, or however you pronounce the name correctly. And team over there, love to see the mint out in some early traction. Milady's flat. Those Zeet creator cards, I think there's been some pretty decent sales. Del Mundos, is it over for Del Mundos? People are asking. I'm not saying that. People are asking. Down 21% on the day, down to 0.059. I think they topped at like 0.15. Did TMA dump some of his bag? Did we see a whale? Does anyone know what caused the big sell-off here? Is it rotating into other new stuff? Does the art not hold? I don't know. Any thoughts on Del Mundos? Joey, are you still holding your Del Mundos? Might have lost Joey. He might still be muted or not able to hear us on X.
My thing is, at some point, vibes just aren't enough.
Yep, I agree. Unless you're good vibes, in particular, the Good Vibes Club.
Yeah. Now TMA's still holding 208. And he said he's he's a trader, but at one point his bag was worth, a lot of fucking money. I mean, it's still worth a lot of money, 9.58 ETH.
Yeah,
but if he starts selling, it's going to cause some panic, I think. And that's why I've always maintained, you want to support a brand, but you're trying to make money, buy 20 or 30 of them from your main wallet, sell, and trade from other wallets. That way you don't get shit on. Well, he constantly gets shit on, man.
Yep. I actually saw
It's unfortunate.
I saw a related take to this. I mean, I can't remember who it was, but I just saw it on the timeline this morning. I don't think I hit like or bookmark, so I don't know if I can find it. But at the highest level, it was someone talking about a lot of these new min outs are, while great to see, a lot of them are still with like the 10,000 supply, and then you only see like 2,000 unique holders. Like the unique holders is like 15 to 20%, not great. So while it's great to do a low cost 10,000 collection, you have some people that make bags on flipping them. I think you could argue it's healthier long term if you're really looking to build a long term brand business ecosystem, lower supply, wider distribution, and to your point, not having individuals holding hundreds of these, because even if they don't have plans to dump, it's how do you exit? And it's kind of like a gray cloud that hangs over the collection's head when people know that, you know, there's some whales that hold and could exit any time. And when they do, it will probably lead to some capitulation, if not, you know, depending on where they're at, you know, potentially cascading loans if they're in the lending streets. Couple other news nuggets here. I think Dort says, see Modest's post about traders and believers versus custodians, how all classes are necessary components. Are the traders necessary? As a trader, a former trader, I should say. I don't really actively trade NFTs anymore, but as a former NFT trader, were we necessary, or were we part of the problem? Did we drive up? Did the trader just create the bubble? I don't know. It's a genuine question. Are traders necessary? I understand the thesis, the take, but I would push back a little bit and wonder if believers, collectors, custodians are really the ones that are necessary. I know people are going to say, "Oh, you need volume, you need attention." There's other ways to drive attention, especially if you're doing things. Anyways, couple other quick news items to at least fly over here. I think this is big news. I don't really know how to put it, like how to best describe it, but you know, we had the big Kraken news and them getting the Fed blessing yesterday. Today we've got Visa, ANZ, China AMC, and Fidelity International complete cross-border settlement solution powered by Chainlink under Hong Kong Monetary Authority EHKD program. Chainlink enables secure transfers of regulated assets with automated compliance and atomic settlement. Not my area of expertise. Sounds like kind of a big deal. Might be a big deal. Not really sure, but just another, if nothing else, another positive tailwind for crypto and adoption in all of finance, to where it's not just DeFi, but it's just finance. And I do think, back to the earlier conversation about security and safety, like ETFs, banks, like, you know, you don't have, I don't think you have worry over someone breaking into your home and wrench attacking you to get access to your bank account. Now, is it frustrating when you go try to pull, like, I pulled a few $1,000s out of the bank the other day, and I was there for 20 minutes. It was awful experience. My ID, my mother's maiden name, like you name it. I don't think they asked my mother's name, but it was like 20 questions of BS, shit that none of their business. What are you spending it for? Next time they do this, I'm making something up. I might, if you have kids listening, earmuffs. Next time they ask me what I'm using it for, I might just look them deadpan in the eye and say hookers and blow. Don't do that. But it's just none of their business. Like, it's not over $10,000. It's not like, you know, I'm not doing anything nefarious with it. You know, I'm KYC'd, so you don't have to worry about anti-money laundering laws. Like, you don't need all this information. Just give me my money. Don't make me wait 10 minutes to get a few $1,000s out of the bank. It was absurd. Oh, and I also had to pay, I think it was like $10 because I ended up getting a bank check, cashier's check. I don't even know what they're called anymore. I don't have checkbooks. And anyways, I digress. It's just, point being, I think that while I do want to see this crypto adoption, I do think the combination of the two and more banks adopting this stuff. I don't think ETFs are evil. I don't think I think banks can have a place. All that being said, I think Robinhood made a little splash with their new platinum card and another shot towards the banks. We might talk about that later, but some pretty big perks, $695 a year, and a lot of different credits and cash back, and very, very competitive in the world of card perks. So with that being said, it is 8:45. I think we might have a guest joining us here shortly, but I do see our two of our guest speakers. We're waiting on maybe one more, but without further ado, I teased the jingle that many of you live for, and we are going to I'm going to do this. It's the coffee break is 1 minute and 22 seconds. So I'm going to play part of that while I go refill my coffee. I'm not going to play the full minute 22, but don't go anywhere, because on the other side of this coffee break is the jingle you've all been waiting for. World premiere jingle here today for Inside the Vault. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the coffee break. Not going to be the full minute and 22, so don't go anywhere. The world premiere of the newest jingle on Coffee with Captain on the other side of this. Alrighty, without further ado, actually, before we give you the jingle, do me a favor, go hit, if you haven't already, hit the post for the space. It's pinned up top. Those likes, repost, bookmarks go a long way. Greatly appreciated. Help us get this thing properly warmed up. But before I bring our guests on, we have the coffee does look good, right? Payne's saying lower your expectations. I'm saying don't. I was bobbing my head to this one this morning. Producer Payne's latest jingle, world premiere, Inside the Vault. We'll be right back.
Yo, Inside the Vault, put royalties back on chain. Enforcement went optional, we bringing it back again. Freeze it at the source, then you move it with ease. Claim it where you land, one live, no duplicate keys. No rappers, no doubles, identity stays intact. Clean ownership trail, royalties paid, that's a fact. One live, no duplicate keys.
That's Inside the Vault, brought to you by Payne, and actually brought to you by Unvault. I'm going to add Ernest and Aaron to the stage here. Ernest and Aaron, I didn't share that with you. Is that the first time for you hearing Inside the Vault? Is that a...
It is. Yeah.
So thoughts, scale 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. What's your... we're giving Payne his performance review in real time here on Coffee with Captain this morning.
Oh, that's a 10. It was great. Yeah.
I think I would give it a 69.
Okay, well, I don't know if Payne got in their pocket before the show and is angling for a raise or what, but like I said, I was a fan. I was bobbing my head, and
that was great.
Yeah, that is 100% Payne. I can't take any. Well, it's like 90% Payne, and with some assistance of some AI. But yeah, I can't take any credit for any of that. That's all his doing. And I thought well done. I might be slightly biased, but yeah, banger. George says T-Pain, to which Otis replies C-Pain, to which Diablito replies House of Pain. I think any and all qualify, but yeah, Payne is the man, the myth, the legend, and the brains behind Coffee with Captain. Appreciate you. Also, gentlemen, I saw the Unvault account jumped up on stage and then we lost it. X is finicky at times. I don't know whoever behind that account. If you want to maybe force close, if it gives you trouble again, force close the X app and then maybe take a lap and come back. But it looks like you're up there now, so we should be good.
Spoiler alert, it's me.
And properly done to where we're not getting any echo or background noise. So great job at following instruction, gentlemen. Yeah, we got all kinds of. This is chat. This is a serious question. Well, obviously, if you have any questions for Ernest, Aaron, Unbald, and all that they're doing to bring royalties back, please drop those questions in the chat below. Are we going to have our guest today or no?
I mean,
maybe.
50?
Okay.
The guest has been notified.
Fair. We can roll with it. I will say this: if yeah, we need. Oh, this is funny. Dort's asking: is pain like ouch that hurts, or is it French for bread? Have we been saying it wrong the whole time? I've been saying it pain like ouch the whole time. So if I'm wrong, that would be funny. We do need
particularly stale bread. It could be both.
There you go. We do have some suggestions already, but for everyone else that's not given their pain, their rapper name for pain, that's our request for the chat today. So far, we've got, as I mentioned, T-Pain, C-Pain, House of Pain, Bloodhound Pain. Drop Pain's. What should Pain's rapper name be in the chat? That was his voice, by the way. If you've never heard Pain talk, that was that wasn't. It was a AI. But yeah, tell us what Pain's rapper name should be. Drop that in the chat. And what do you think? What do you think, Aaron? You're pretty clever with this stuff.
Champagne.
Oh, I like it.
Like champ.
I get it. Yeah.
And
that might be the winner. That might be the winner. It's also, I have to share because I find it pretty humorous that we're going back and forth between Pain's rapper names and Von Front. That's, we got a lot of dads in the chat. Like this is way better than like your stripper name or your Florida man name. What is Pain's rap name? Please let us know. He's shaking his head because he does not want us to be having this conversation right now. He'd much rather we jump into serious topics and important content. But
by the way,
right, Von Frunten, is that French? People are asking. He's also says bring the pain. Yeah, we still owe you guys 1 minute of pain. Someday we're going to bring that segment and bring the bread. Yes. Yeah, but the chat's going back and forth between Pain's rapper name and education in Florida and how great of a state it is to live in Florida. I will plug that I paid for it in the form of private education during high school and middle school, but both my kids are going to get pretty much close to full rides throughout college due to academics and some of the Florida Bright Future programs. Like it is. I do believe the best scholarship programs in the country as far as college education goes, especially for residents of Florida. That said, Ernest, Aaron, I know you didn't come here to talk about college scholarships, but tying this together like a professional, I don't know, man. Some NFT founders, some NFT teams, even those that have already launched contracts, there's a world where they could pay for their kids' college if they just join Unvault and migrate to a royalty protected contract. No?
Yes. I don't know why you put the no at the end. I mean, the answer is
just my way of asking it as a question.
Right. Yes, of course. I mean, look, a lot of us came into the space and royalties were the thing, right? We didn't come in. Well, I did come into the space because of royalties, because if people don't know, I was a comedian for 30 years. I say past tense because I'm not really doing it anymore. Now I'm a full-time technologist. But I love that word, technologist. But I came into the space because I was very interested in the royalties and the IP. Of course, I'm a collector. Here, I'll show everybody who's watching on the stream my nerd office.
Oh my goodness. Is that a life-size Chewbacca?
It damn well is a life-size.
I was about to give you a hard time for not wearing your fedora today. I got nothing. I can't, I have zero comments. I had no idea you were rocking a life-size fedora.
It makes it like, what? Red, but you know,
I don't even have anything close. I've got a 2011 World Series cards, like little cardinal. Yeah. That's about the largest thing I have. I have fixture envy now from those
And then, of course,
everyone's doing these vinyls, like these little these little like burb vinyls. If you can see them, they're like 4 inches. This is what we need. We need life. I guess Pudgies have done the big stuff penguin, but this is what we need. We need more life-size collectibles in Web3.
Life-size apes at the old Journey gallery.
Oh, really?
Statues. I forgot the artist's name from Mexico, but did a great job. Thank you, Diablo. Anyway, so I came in for royalties, and royalties were the thing. And I've said this story a million times. I apologize to everybody in the audience, but I remember being on Clubhouse and Beeple coming in. This is before his big, $69 million sale. He had sold a piece for, I think, 60,000, 66,000. And his seller, his buyer, I should say, turned around and sold it for $6 million. He had a 10% royalty, trustless, and all of a sudden his wallet was funded with $600,000. So a $60,000 sale turned into a $660,000 sale, which for him at the time, I mean, now he just, that falls out of his pocket, right? But now, but back then that was huge for him. And so I think there's been this painting of a bunch of like fat cat rug puller, devs and founders who are laughing at everybody in the space with their huge mountains of royalties. And that's really not the case. I mean, to me, there are two distinct classes of projects that get royalties. And of course, you have the outliers who are pieces of shit and rug people, and I get it, right? But for the most part, you either have the pretty big collections that use those royalties to, I don't know, pay for staff, pay for development of new products, pay for events, etc. Or you have the grinders, the grinders who refuse to let go of the collections because they love it here and they love their communities. And even though they can't put 2 nickels together based on, their revenue from NFTs, they haven't left for years. And what could those royalties do for them? I mean, one, it would allow them to work full-time in Web3, and it would allow them to fund their projects. The great thing is with the divot, yes, we're bringing the royalties back for old contracts that launch on a 721, or maybe, I don't know, maybe a platform didn't inform you that you should be on a 721C, and they launched you in the last year on a 721 or 721A, which I've fought with platforms. I said, what are you talking about? You're not doing a 721C in 2025? But we allow simple migration and expansion into all the chains, 7 to start, but we allow simple migration to reclaim royalties. And I know what this is, by the way. I have a guess, but we'll see. But anyway, so
just a nervous tick. No, I actually caught a clip yesterday. I was doing this on a clip yesterday, and then I noticed I flicked up like a little white hair that looked like I had something in my mouth. Like, well, I wasn't eating anything on the show. What one was just was white hair in my mouth?
I thought you were doing this and you were going to ask me about ordinals, but forgive me.
I saw someone flooding. I wanted to call it 12 gauge. I know that's not it. Why am I drawing a blank here? What was the Yugo Ordinals collection? Ninefold.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
we had guns on my mind. We live in Florida. We saw Silly Tuna got held for ransom, and so we had guns on my mind. Hence why I'm thinking 12 gauges this morning. But no.
Just to finish the thought off, we allow the big companies and the small grinders to reclaim royalties, and we allow them to also put aside a portion of those royalties to pay their holders as well, in a very legal, you won't go to jail way.
I believe this is where the industry's heading. We just recently saw Quit announced last week that Other Deeds and Coda's moved to a new royalty enforced contract. I think that all are going to end up there. And the reality is, you talk about those grinders, some of the smaller teams, some of the bootstrap teams, they can't afford to quit to move to a royalty protected contract, to make these moves, especially to be able to move to a royalty protected contract and then share those royalties with their holders. Unvault makes that possible. I think you guys, maybe the prices change. I think you're underselling what you're offering to these teams and the amount of additional revenue they could bring in simply by working with you all and clicking a few buttons. I also noticed, Aaron, the extra voice inflection when you said simple a couple of times. I'm not sure if that was setting up our next guest here to bring Simple Farmer on stage. But
there he is.
Simple Farmer, builder in the space, working with the ApeCo team. Clutch Puppies, one of those collections that I believe you all have partnered with, and one of the early adopters of Unvault and maybe soon to be Divot. But then also another new product I saw yesterday. Clutch Perps went live. Perps for NFT communities. Trade like a DJ, support your collection like a local, and a percentage of those trades, every percentage of every trade routes back to NFT floor protection, buybacks, and vaulting for whitelisted collections you choose. All chains can deposit. Simple Farmer, I'm old enough to remember we had you on the show not too long ago, and we were talking about, man, just imagine if Hyperliquid, instead of using all their revenues and fees to buy back the Hype token, just imagine if they used even a portion of their fees to buy back the Hypers. And we did the math, and it was like just 1 day of fees, 1 day out of the month would sweep every Hyper listed on the floor. Listed, like there would be no supply available just by using 1 day, 1/30th of their fees to support that floor. I know that's not the main driver or the reasoning behind all this, but GM, welcome. And I think most have heard from you at some point or another, but do you mind, by way of maybe brief introduction and ultimately what led you to working with Ernest and Aaron?
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on the show again.
Also, before we get started, really important question. Sorry to cut you off. This might be the first time we've ever had you on the show with a fully sleeved shirt. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm in the northern part of Sweden in a very cold region in the corner of a hotel room. My Cyprus, where I live, there was like a drone got shot at Cyprus, so my flight got canceled. So I'm here for a little bit.
I didn't even think about that. So sending thoughts, stay safe over there. I didn't realize. Yeah, that's we are. I will say I can't say we. I take for granted that we talk about these world events and really not like any personal concern of like rockets or bombs going off in my neighborhood. That's just, I can't imagine living in that environment and what you must, like the added stress that must add to your day-to-day life, and probably not so much a thing as like a normal day when those sort of conflicts are going off. So yeah, please stay safe. And yeah, that's a valid excuse, I guess. Otis was saying Ernest put on the fedora, now you got to ditch the shirt, but valid excuse. You had to move, you had to get to quarter climate to avoid the any potential risk of bombs. Geesh. So yeah, valid excuse.
Appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, glad to touch on. So everything with Clutch Perps is only possible because we partnered with the board council, and their support there has been invaluable. So shout out to Ernest and Aaron, doing big things for NFT collections in more than one way. With everything that's coming through Unvault, everything with the Divot, and Clutch Perps as well. Like I said, only possible because of them. We spoke before earlier, just in X Space and stuff like that, but then we really had more larger conversations in Vegas. Happened to be in an elevator with Ernest at the same time, like 3 or 4 times, and it just like it seemed like destiny was pushing us towards figuring out working together. And then when I spoke to Aaron after his comedy event, he mentioned that maybe we could work together on some things in the future, and then that led to further conversations. And now we're cooking. Now we've got a fully functional Perps Dex with some really cool, what I think is automated functionality. And for me, Cap, that process and system is super important because with respect to Hyperliquid, OpenSea, these platforms where we do our trading, they obviously offer us like incentives like treasure chests or promise of a future airdrop, and then we use their platforms as the users in crypto. They generate a ton of fees, which more than pay for those airdrops, those chests, right? That's their revenue model. In essence, we're being farmed by all of these large companies. My thought process with Clutch Perps was, what if, especially NFT communities who are the only identifiable users in blockchain, instead of being the farmees, we become the farmers, and we essentially designate where those fees are going right away. So it's like, we don't want another token airdrop. We don't want, these vague rewards programs that give us 10% back of everything that we put in. We want our fees to go directly into essentially pumping the floor of our bags, which in this instance is something where we identify as that's NFT collections. So we launched Clutch Perps. Glad to see already 120 wallets have signed up and designated a boost. If you go to NFT Vault, you'll be able to designate which community you want to boost for their cap. And we also support gold and silver trading on Clutch Perps. And I just added an MCP as well so that users can plug and play. People who like their OpenClaw bots do their trading for them, they can install that command to get agentic trading going. And what I really want to get to here, and sorry, Cap, I'm going on a rant.
It's awesome. No, keep going. Keep cooking.
But a lot of people, they want to use the AI agents, right? They want to use OpenClaw, but as soon as you have to go type something in a terminal and install, it becomes there's like an ick associated with it. It's like a difficult thing, I think, a difficult step for people to get over. So what I'd like to bring in here next on Clutch Perps is fully agentic trading. So where you would come here, connect your wallet, deposit $100, and you have your agent there doing the automated trading for you. And you can kind of just give it a little bit of direction of how risky you want it to be and what you want it to focus on in terms of context, but making it like a very simple process. No code, no API keys.
It's literally copy paste, right? If you choose what a cursor, Claude, VS Code, Codex, OpenClaw, or OpenClaw, and then copy paste, and you're live, right?
Yeah. So that's with the current form of the MCP. So MCP is just it's a context protocol, right? It's deep context for these agents to work from. If you think of agents like human beings, like you get on a soccer field, you kick the ball. The context is you see other people running around kicking balls, and you realize that you have to do that as well. So agents need context to know what to do. And so MCPs give them context. And so this is giving them context to enable trading on Clutch Perps.
It's awesome. Really, really exciting, really impressive. You just continue to ship. I guess let me ask you this: where, how, if does the Clutch Puppies NFT collection play into the perp decks and everything you're building with on the marketplace side or the market side?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, it's obviously the only NFT collection that represents, everything that we're building with Clutch. And I'm kind of shifting towards just being like a laboratory for decentralized markets and ideas. So that means that we're just going to be building a lot of stuff, and that the NFT collection will always be connected to that. Now that we have the boost feature, which is available under, NFT vaults right there, the people who are in the Clutch Puppies community can designate their trading fees to go to support that. And, we're always going to be adding additional utility. Cap, if you go to Boost there, you might, I think you'll find the page. I'm sorry, if you go to NFT Vaults, it's the option right next to it. NFT Treasury, yeah. And if you connect there, you'll be able to see all of it's very safe, I can assure you. But if you can connect your wallet, then you can essentially select a community that you want to boost. I believe you did select the option to generate a wallet. So this is going to give you a wallet with 0 gas. If you want to use a wallet where you already have gas, you'd have to disconnect it to the lower option, but that's okay. But just to show you, here you would essentially select the community that you want to boost, and then the fees from your trading go directly to buying the floor of that collection.
Interesting. Very cool. Very cool. I'm excited. I'm excited for not only what you're building, Aaron, I'm excited for this segment because we often talk about how fortunate we are to, speak with leaders, teams that are pushing the space forward. And what got me so excited when we started talking about Unvault and Divot and all that you're building and how we might be able to work together, it was instantly like, hey, we'd like to feature the builders we're working with, people like Simple Farmer and others. And that to me is I don't know the word for it, but the opposite of PvP. It's helping other people. Are you working together? Are they clients, or in this case, partners to some degree? Yes. But to use your this sponsored segment, live from the vault, I'm sure we might actually have to have, that might be Payne. That's going to be our poll of the week is what should your rapper name be? So for the newsletter, when that hits on Saturday, Payne, I'm making a special request that we include the poll of the week this week is pick the best 4 options. You can choose the 4 options you'd like, and then the community decides what Payne's rapper name is. But in all seriousness, this is, the opportunity to feature and talk about not just Unvault and Divot and royalty protection, but other builders, what they're doing, it's not knocking anyone. We were talking earlier about Del Mundo's and art, and not knocking anyone. That's, hey, if you enjoy art and you enjoy collecting art, awesome. NFTs are great. I believe part of the reason that we've seen success, not just Del Mundo's, but Death and Taxes, is a lot of these new collections, if not all of them, they're on royalty protected contracts. It's a big deal. And this is, I think it's not just good revenue, extra revenue for the projects and the teams. I think it helps the collection. I think it mitigates farmers. It mitigates short-term flippers who are just in it for the short-term gain. I don't know why I can't get the overlay to pop off there. But this is just the last 7-day chart. This is your royalty report brought to you by Unvault. Not that these are all collections working with them, but a lot of existing collections, a lot of legacy collections, like I said, they may not have in their budget to go hire someone like a Quit and a dev and a team that's going to be able to help them migrate to a royalty protected contract, let alone share those royalties with their holders. You can see the results. This is the last 7 days, royalties earned on chain. Death and Taxes, Citizens, $20,000. Quirkies, $15,000. Del Mundo's, $11,000. Normies, $9,000. Good Vibes Club, $9,000. What's missing from that top 5? You don't see Apes. You don't see Pudgies. If I scroll up, they're still top collection by volume. Pudgies, number 1 by a good margin, 1.4 million in volume last week, and they don't even register on the royalty report. Apes, 292,000 in volume in the past month. DX Terminal is just an OpenSea farm, one of the preferred OpenSea farms anyways. Moonbirds, $500,000 in the last week. Don't even register on the royalty report. Maybe Apes and Moonbirds and Pudgies, they have so much other revenue. They're swimming in money and they've got runway for years that they don't need royalties anymore, or they don't care. I don't know. Personally, I think it's a miss. Personally, from the smallest teams in the space to the largest teams in the space, there's a lot of good that can be done with those royalties, a lot of reinvestment back in the ecosystem. For some, it's going to be necessary for payroll and to keep their lights on. For others, it's like, what else can you do with the community if you made an extra 6-7 figures in royalties last year? So really excited about this segment. We've ran a little long today. Normally it's going to be kind of some quick hitters with a builder of the week brought to you by Unvault in Divot, but wanted to give the guys a little extra time here. It's newer. We had the great interview. I'll go try to grab a link here in a minute. If you missed last week's interview, we did a deep dive with Aaron and Ernest, and as well as I pinned up top, they have a space later today, if I'm not mistaken, right? 2 p.m. Eastern. Does that sound right?
Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
So yeah, if you got certainly if you have questions for Aaron or Ernest or Simple Farmer, drop those in the chat down below. If you want to come up and join us on stage and join the conversation, you're also welcome. But if you really want to get a deep dive, if you are on a team or you're deep in a community and you'd love to see them have protected royalties and what that might be able to do for the ecosystem, I would encourage you to go check out, go hit that reminder up top from the Unvault space. Go drop into that at 2:00 this afternoon, and or encourage the team the communities that you support to check it out as well. Go ahead, Aaron.
And that is the Divot side of it. And then with Unvault, we can help get distribution to all the different chains where all the different collectors live and all the volume lives. So we unhook you from one blockchain and we bring you to 7 in the beginning. ETH Mainnet, Ape Chain, Abstract, Base, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, and Solana, just so you know, we're not just doing EVMs. So there's that as well. And we're happy to, once we launch, we're going to start seeing clutch puppies in all those different markets, picking up new wallets, picking up new trading volume. We're going to see bulls on the block, STK and dolls. We're going to see bears on the block, of course. We're going to see Heavy Metal, who signed with us the last few weeks. We're going to see Alpha Dogs and Bad Ted Yacht Club and the list. Oh, and Ernest, we got our first base collection, Chumlins, and the list keeps growing week by week. And so if anybody is interested in joining that list and getting full distribution and royalties, just DM us. Ernest, are your DMs open still?
My DMs are open. Yeah, that's for sure. And I was just thinking, sometimes we talk about what we could do with the royalties, but imagine what the space would be like if we would have had royalties all along. Imagine how many collections wouldn't have had to do a secondary or a tertiary collection in order to extract liquidity from the market. It's just it changes a lot of things. Imagine if cross chain royalties and cross chain movement of NFTs was always a thing. Imagine how unsiloed the different chains would be. It's an interesting exercise. It takes a little while to get all that in, but when we talk to new clients, we're always talking about these things, and you can see in the middle of a conversation the light bulb goes off, and they just get it, and they're like, wow, hold on a second, what about this, what about that, that would change this, that would change that. And it's just because we're so stuck in the way things are, we don't think about, what would happen if you change this one little thing. And string theory, you change one little thing, and how far off from where you are would you be?
Yep. And I, again, some will debate me on this, but some of this we saw what Royalties did, and what that, I think it had a positive impact for not just the ecosystems. I think it brought more artists, more builders into the space. And I think unfortunately, due to some changes, due to some blur farming and incentivized bidding, and some extractors, some grifters, some that took advantage of a hot market and took the royalties and went home and never reinvest in their ecosystems. It now some try to spin royalties as a negative, but I'm very, very pro royalties. Appreciate all that you were doing to bring them back. And I do. I feel like we're getting a second chance to, and I don't expect things to pop off like they did in 21, 22, but I think we'll see some collections, some entrepreneurs build in ways that build a real sustainable business that brings in royalties for years, if not decades to come. And I think that to drive home again, it's not just new collections. One of the biggest value points that you're bringing to crypto is helping these legacy collections find a very simple turnkey way to move to a royalty protected contract without having to go hire a dev or a team of devs. And I think more get the word out there. So again, whether you're a team or a founder, or you're a collector and part of a community that is still on an old contract, I encourage you to check out their space later today and
lastly,
maybe connect that team with these guys. Go for it.
I just want to say that we're so thrilled to be working with Simple Farmer. Big fan of his work, from even before we started working with him, which is why we wanted to work with him. And he's also joined our dev team, and for Unvault and Divot to get us across the finish line, and is just doing remarkable work on that end. OX Quit is auditing. Simple Farmer and his team are deving. Things are moving along, and we really appreciate Simple Farmer.
Awesome. I appreciate him as well, even when he is wearing a shirt. But Simple Farmer, anything that we didn't ask you regarding clutch markets or anything that you're building that you were hoping to share today? Any final words, closing comments?
No, I mean, I think, I'm really focused on trying to be on the cutting edge of things. I think it's blatantly apparent that the future of the majority of trading that's going to happen. So when we're talking about token swaps, perps, trading, all that stuff, is probably going to happen via agents. But I think people like human beings will still look for community. And it's one thing you can't vibe code is human to human interaction. So I'm very bullish on NFTs, especially because of that utility. And then I think creating a layer, and you can call them Ponzinomics, but there should be an incentive for people to onboard more people to their community. And there should be a disincentive to leaving that community. So if you have something like the Divot set up with your NFT collection, every single time you onboard a new user, you're actually getting a portion of their royalty that's coming through because they bought into the collection. And then you could see how that could compound. And then what I think to myself is like, let's say, what if the Divot was set up for a collection like Moonbirds or Bored Ape Yacht Club or CryptoPunks? How long would it take for that NFT to pay for itself?
Yeah,
it's I think it'd be really interesting to see. And now once collections adopt this, once we start seeing some do it, and then ownership of this digital asset becomes a source of passive income, potentially even additional income for just like meeting people, networking, bringing people into your community. I think that makes a lot more sense than the previous model of what we were doing, which was trying to, I think, sell a idea that's inherently difficult to sell. This now makes a lot more business sense. So unvault, the divot, and then it's like, okay, well, what else are we doing as a community? All right, well, if we're going to metaverse, we can all go hang out in the metaverse together. All right, if we're trading as a community, why don't we boost our collection on Clutch Perps, trade together there, and also boost our floor value? The thing is, it's like we should all be the farmers. Like I mentioned earlier, we should stop being farmies.
Well said. Well said. I agree. Well, thanks for joining us today, Simple Farmer. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Congrats on the new launch and best of luck with everything. Ernest and Aaron, pleasure as always. Looking forward to this weekly segment and feature. And hey, if royalties and sharing royalties and that revenue with your holders doesn't do it for you, another perk, not forever. They can't do this forever, but at least for the foreseeable future. And I think they have a backlog already of builders they've already started working with. But you can get featured here on Coffee with Captain and no charge you. It's something they're passing along to the people they're working with as opportunity to join us here on the show and maybe get a viral clip or two. Or I don't know. We're gonna do something with this Chewbacca now that I know that it exists, Aaron.
Absolutely, it's here for you.
It's incredible. Thanks again today, guys.
Sorry, you see, it's wearing a bad bag.
I did not see that, but it makes it even better. What's in the cabinet?
Oh, my comic book collection.
Oh wow, yeah, it's pretty impressive. I'm gonna have to up my my collector game. Good stuff, gentlemen. Appreciate your time today. Looking forward to running it back next week. We'll be doing this segment on Wednesdays going forward. And don't forget, if you haven't dropped your Pain rapper name in the chat, we're soliciting nominations before we run the pool on this weekend. But Aaron, Ernest, and Simple Farmer, appreciate all of you. Thanks so much for joining us today. And again, that the Unvault space is pinned up top. You can DM any of these gentlemen, they'll get back to you. Or if you want to get in for a deeper conversation, I'll go grab the interview from last week, as well as they have that space at 2 p.m. Eastern later today. The reminder link is pinned up top. Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate you.
See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Topical, at least on the topic of revenue sharing and the such. We had just saw hot off the presses. Now, not exactly royalty sharing, but if you think it's not just me talking about revenue sharing and what that could do for a holder base, Luca just asked about revenue sharing. He says he has a dream that they can benefit their core holder base. Wants to IPO Pudgy Penguins, the whole Igloo organization. Revenue sharing for holders could become very real if the crypto bill passes and the floodgates open. This could align everybody in a way that has never been done before. While that's cool, you don't have to wait. You could start doing some of this in a legal way, working with Aaron, Ernest, and that Unvault team, what they've already built. Pretty innovative, and I'm excited. Yes, this is a sponsored segment, but we are working with them for a reason. And if you've been here, you've heard me beating the pro royalty drum long before we kicked off this segment. And I do think it is a big net positive for the space at large. A couple other news topics today that I wanted to hit on. If you got any thoughts, conversations, takes either way, I'm debating which one to go first. I don't love showing it on the screen, but I will since it was dropped in the chat. I will bring it up. I'm looking. FFV is usually here, but I don't see FFV this morning, so I shouldn't share since he's not out there. But I will anyways because he's a good one. One of the OGs says, "Word of advice: never make fun of another chain before your chain launches. Compared to Base, Mega ETH is a ghost town. LOL." On 131, Bread sent out a post likening Base to a ghost town. The screenshot you can see from FFV here is Mega ETH, 84 million in TVL locked in DeFi compared to 4 billion on Coinbase. Now, I will say 11,000 in fees in the last 24 hours isn't nothing, especially not for a new chain that is still in launch mode compared to Base. It's been around for a while and has some pretty big competitive advantages from distribution standpoint. 132,000 on their end, so a little over 10x. But I think for size, they're not they're doing okay. Bridge TVL 125 million and perp volume in the last 24 hours 1.23 doesn't to 404 million for Coinbase. So all things considered, not doing nothing. it is a start, maybe slower than some would like. Payne did respond and said, I will not, because no one was under the illusion that would launch with billions in TVL and millions in fees. The post is about the underlying tech, which I'll continue to compare, and is already showing exactly what it called out. We're having events that are spiking to thousands of sustained TPS for minutes with zero base fee movement. These occurrences will only increase as developers realize they have access to more scalable, responsive tech that they will move. TVL and TPS will increase. Many are already. It's simply a new paradigm. And then he linked this from Mega Rebel NFT Mint that dominated Mega ETH. Peak TPS was 2,200 plus, 2,259 transactions at a single block, 2,200 failed. This is what real competition looks like in a 10 millisecond mini blocks. I interpret this as bringing gas wars back. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I'm interpreting it. Also, quick PSA, thanks for sharing this. In the chat, Mayhem, it looks like Frisk was hacked. It seems like they're also targeting FFE. Speaking of it, so maybe that wasn't FFE. Maybe that was, I kid. I do think he sent that out, but it looks like FFV's account may be hacked, hence why he might not be in the space. Regular here on the show. Be safe out there. Seems like, so it says, don't know how, but they managed to bypass my 2FA or get my login info, but strange. It seems they're also targeting other accounts too, because FFE had the same thing happen to him. Went to revoke all app permissions to ensure none of it was an issue. But all of them had read-only permissions. So unless something was hidden or changed, not really sure how or why it happened. Bigger issue here is that there was zero notifications or emails sent to me when someone in a foreign country decided to log into my account. There was no warning or even confirmation possible. All this on top of them managing to bypass 2FA. If crypto scams are so important for monetization rules, then they should be security permissions as well. He tags support and Nikita for anyone else reading this. If you see anything today about Agental Fun, it's probably from someone who's been hacked. This was Agental on Solana. This is a scam. Same thing, FFE pre-sale at agental.fund. Do not do that. It's a scam. Yeah, be safe out there. Don't click any random links. I do not think pre-sales are back. Definitely do your research and double, triple check before you send any money. I think we're past the days of stealth mints and stealth pre-sales. But it's better to be safe and miss a stealth mint or stealth presale than to get fished and lose all your money. So please be safe out there. And I hope FFE and Frisk and everyone else gets their accounts back safely and securely. Also, we talked about this with Drew the other day. Get yourself a YubiKey. Take your phone numbers off of your Twitter account and get yourself a YubiKey for authentication. And I don't believe that would be possible if you have a YubiKey or something. You have to have it on you physically to log in. And so Otis in the comments, back to the whole Mega ETH. Barachain, they got blasted for $30 in fees. Blast, the same thing. I think they made $7 in fees in 24 hours. So if we're going to compare L2s to most of the other L2s that aren't base, for instance, versus the leading L2 right now, they're crushing it relative to these others when it comes to 24-hour fees. Barachain, Blast, Monad are in the double, if not, or triple digits, if not double digits, maybe some days even single-digit fees. $11,000 in the last 24. Not the worst for Mega ETH, but still point noted. And you saw Bread's response there. The other, if anyone has any thoughts or questions on that topic, feel free to drop your other additional thoughts in the chat or join us here on stage. The other headline, and then we may probably have some time to get into a few others. We'll see where the conversation takes us. Who knows? Maybe we get you out of here a few minutes early, but every time I say that, we end up sticking around longer. So I'm not going to jinx us today. That said, almost closed the StreamYard. My bad. I did close the wrong tab, but I'll get it right back up. Took my number off. Yeah, take your number off X. But can't rate community notes. I didn't realize you needed a phone number for that. That's a flaw in their system. Yeah, you should take your mobile number off of X to help prevent SIM swaps. but I didn't realize you couldn't rate community notes if you don't have it. Here's the other news. Well, should be reserved probably for an AI segment. I think pretty big news out of Google, and I haven't seen really anyone in our space talking about this. Just hit last night. Google introduced Workspace CLI. As we were just talking MCPs and agents with Simple Farmer there. Google introduced basically 40 plus agent skills for Google Drive, Gmail, Calendar, and every workspace. Like pretty impressive moves from Google to just level up your if you're a Google Workplace user, not just your Gmail, but all things Google related. We've now seen these moves from not just Google, but Notion and several others that are not LLMs. They're not AI companies, but yet making agents and AI very easy to use natively in their software. And I think, I'm not bullish SaaS companies by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think the software companies that get ahead of this, especially those that have sticky products like the Google Suite, those that get ahead of it, and now I know Google's a different animal, Alphabet's a different animal, but I still think even like down to like the Notions of the world, there's an opportunity for them to just get their claws in their customers. Maybe I need a better word for that, but like really create a sticky user base because they're able to do a lot of these or they're able to create agents. They're able to create agent skills and do a lot of these automated tasks without having to go buy a Mac Mini or set up OpenClaw or give access to Perplexity Computer to your other suite of products. Most people there's a level of trust that is built into many of these large platforms like Gmail, and I think it is a big move. And I've used Gemini baked into Gmail and some other like very rudimentary, very basic AI stuff that's already been in Google. But I am excited to explore a little deeper with these new agent skills they just created and learn a little more about it. I just saw that this morning, so I thought it was worthy of sharing. And if anyone else is doing anything cool with AI or agents, that's not like it's cool, but it's not quite as cool as the cool kids building with OpenClaw. Do anything cool with agents or agent skills inside of some of these, like Notion I mentioned, Gmail. I'd love to hear some ideas, some things we should maybe think about implementing ourselves. Diablito said, "Did you see Tully's agentic site?" I did not. Was in Discord. I don't know if on X. Gave a brief period for bearish holders to access for free to download agents. That's cool. That's real utility for bearish holders. Shout out to, I'd be remiss if I didn't give General Wags a shout out. Longtime friend, fan of the show, and down there almost every morning, probably dropping a bearish GIF or two in the chat. Otis had been pushing Gemini to anyone AI curious outside of our space, integrates so well into normal use for normal people. I agree. Even if Gemini becomes not the best model, even if they get lapped by Claude and OpenAI and Perplexity or others, which isn't necessarily the case today. They can go toe to toe. I mean, every time a new model's launched, it usually jumps into first, but it is really good already. And it's just like I said, like I think centralized exchanges are going to be the best solution for most people who aren't already here, who aren't crypto natives. I feel the same with this AI stuff. Most people aren't going to go buy a computer to run a self-contained localized model on and build agents and agent skills on. Most are going to, at least for now, for the foreseeable future, look to use what they already trust. And I agree, Gemini probably is best positioned on that level to see wide adoption, especially as they continue to integrate more and more of these skills and features into sorry, I got distracted by some founder PvP. I'm not going to go there. Thanks for sharing, Joey, but yeah, I'm going to let that one lay today. Yeah, anyone's doing anything with agents natively to some of these big platforms, whether it be Google or Notion, I would love to hear. I did get, I'll pin Tully's post up top. Thank you, Diablito, for sharing. Souls.zip. And yeah, there's a nice video as well. That's pinned up top for anyone that wants to go check that out later. There's our deal of the day from Bearish from General Wags. And yeah, appreciate you all. Speaking of agents, last news topic I had, and then we'll see where we have what we have down the home stretch. Speaking of agents, speaking of vibe coding, just launched earlier this week from the Other Side team is Vibe Maker. Vibe coding just came to Other Side. We had Figgy on here a week ago, 2 weeks ago, talking about the agents that created a religion and just running free in the Other Side. I'm quoting, this is, you can just go to Other Side Meta, the main X account for this whole article. But for those that don't have video up, I'll paraphrase here. For a while now, the most ambitious builders of Web3 have been using MML, a markup language purpose built for creating interactive multiplayer experiences inside of Other Side to construct worlds from scratch. Cinemas, clubs, minigames, arenas built by the community for the community. Today, we're opening up a new layer of that. OS Vibe Maker is live at otherside.xyz/OS Vibe Maker. It's the first real taste of what AI-powered creation looks like on the platform. Build your own experiences, drop your own assets, and make Other Side yours. What's already being built? Here's a taste of the first wave of creators have been quietly cooking. You've got a cinema from Cinema D. You've got a club from Honeybee. You got a hotel from Tropical Virtual. You got mini games from Shippend. This is what's possible when you give the community real tools. How it started. OS Vibe Maker is currently available to a limited creator group. We're opening it up gradually after building with MML. The editor is open and you can start building your own asset libraries now. New to this and want to prompt your way through it, Frosties has a world builder that anyone can access. No Claude or cursor needed. Just show up and start creating it at oswiki.xyz/explore. Also, just even if you're not interested in the AI stuff, if you're interested in Other Side at all, you should have OS Wiki bookmarked. One in, not whitelisted yet. Send us proof of MML via the OS Discord. Want to learn more about the MML process overall? Check out these docs. Creation is now open source. We want to hear what you think about this new layer of community creation and what you want to see more of. If you had the tools, what would you create? Other Side Vibe Maker. I'll pin this up top momentarily if anyone wants to check that out further. And we'll probably overdue to get I know we had Figgy on kind of an impromptu visit last week, but probably good time to run it back with them. And then on that topic, I saw Command Line. Let me make sure I'm finding it right. Command Line, the makers of Blitz in the Other Side, looks like they're launching season 1 coming soon. There you go. Blitz season 1 almost here. Bathroom Blitz returns to Other Side with a full rebuild, new UI, new gunplay, new VFX, big performance upgrades. More details tomorrow. Yes, this is an announcement. So more details coming soon, but maybe we'll get that Command Line team on here to talk a little more about what they're building. Should have, they say tomorrow, this was yesterday, so should see more details on that today. But that was a fun mini game that launched a few months back. Can't remember exactly when that was live, but and Otis, back to the AI topic. I agree. I think Android phones land the Google AI suite in the hands of millions, and they've got the deal with Apple. So as Apple continues to launch new hardware, new AI forward hardware, it's like, just as Google was the primary, search engine there, this is arguably even bigger, that Gemini will be what's powering Siri. Yeah, Apple picked, thank you, Maria. I'm going to pin that up top. Pin the article from CNBC. Apple picks Google's Gemini to run AI-powered Siri. Like, a really big deal. So think about that for a minute. People, myself included, dunking on Apple for falling behind the AI race. A lot of people think, if you ask 100 people who's leading the AI race today, you're probably going to get a lot of them are going to say OpenAI. ChatGPT might be the answer. They may not even know OpenAI is the company behind ChatGPT. You'll get a lot to say Claude or Anthropic, which, by the way, recently Claude just passed ChatGPT in terms of App Store downloads. But the real leader here, when you talk about distribution and getting in the hands of millions, I don't see how it's not Gemini at this point. They've got all the phones. They got the phones on lockdown. Like, are we going to see new form factors for AI devices, a pendant or glasses or headphones? Maybe. But I think we're still ways away before the phones are gone, and Gemini's won. Like they've won. Can you download ChatGPT and Claude and all Perplexity all on your? Yeah, you can. But when you talk about the native apps, which are important, which by default get in the hands of not millions, in the hands of billions. Android phones owned by Alphabet, Google, they're going to come preloaded with this Google AI suite. Apple, in the hands of billions, they've partnered with Gemini for all their AI suite for Siri AI and all things AI. So it's just like they have Apple due to their current distribution and then their lead in hardware, Google with their distribution, and I mean, really globally, they lead in hardware. Those two have I think, a significant competitive advantage that isn't getting enough credit when most of the news is like Anthropic versus OpenAI. I think a lot of people are really sleeping on Google and Apple where this thing is heading, but I could be wrong. I think that's a big, just as Coinbase has an advantage in terms of distribution and top of funnel, man, it's going to be hard for anyone to match the top of funnel edge that, sorry, a couple distractions today. I just laughed out loud at someone said, I think they're buying a private island after abstract chain TGE. Good luck. I hope you do. Because if you buy a private island, then I might get at least maybe a new office chair or that camera I was talking about. Not expecting it, but I love the optimism. Someone on the topic of AI, we'll maybe wrap with this. If anyone else has any additional thoughts, comments, or anything they want to talk about today, feel free to throw a request in up on stage, or drop your comments or questions in the chat. But as we're talking AI, if you're an AI builder, there's some grants out there. There's actually someone vibe coded a website that shows all available credit and usage grants for startups. Tons of free value available for those willing to look. AWS credits, you can get up to 300 grand. Google Cloud credits, up to 350 grand. OpenAI startup credits, 25,000. A lot of, let me see if the link's here yet. It's fushly.com. I will pin this up top, but please do me a favor. I've not vetted it. So just before you put any information in there, please make sure it's a good link. Please you should have something like, I use Rabby. It's got built-in phishing protection and has helped me on a few fronts, even non-crypto stuff. But that is pinned up top. Just know that it's not an endorsement. I've not literally just saw it in real time. So we'll share it, talk about it. It's pinned up top. But please do your own research and take extra security precautions. Not just what you click, but what you're flexing online and where you're storing your crypto. I don't want to see anyone else get held, not a wrench, but by axes, it sounds like, per Silly Tuna. I have one maybe question since I'm doing stuff in real time here. Does anyone out there have I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce this right, Cutis, the crypto, the Solana based wearable ring? I just saw, I don't even know what it's for, but I just saw they achieved a Kickstarter milestone, 900% funded. Interesting, with crypto company or crypto native company would go to Kickstarter to raise funds. I'd be curious more about that. They said if you tried out the Cutis age, what's your ranking? I mentioned there, I actually have it right here. I still have one new in box that I ordered. It's too small. They said can definitely swap in Discord. That's where I went, and I did it like months ago, maybe a year ago at this point. And I attempted to swap in Discord, but I could not find anyone that wanted my size or had my size. And so I'm still sitting on the one new in box that I've never used. As someone who is pretty active and I like tracking my health stuff. I'm not a ring wearer, but I was looking forward to using it. So if anyone wants to swap a Cutis ring, I am curious if anyone else is using that. Thoughts, feedback, is it worth my time, or should I just say forget it and go back to the Apple Watch? Diablito said someone came at him with a pipe once. Never had a wrench experience like that. This was pre-crypto days. It's a story I'd like to hear more about someday. But all that being said today, I think we are going to get you out of here a few minutes early today. It is quarter till top of the hour. I wanted to make sure we gave our guest proper time there and feeling out the new segment, the sponsor segment there with Unvault. And as they highlighted Clutch and Simple Farmer today, we highlighted another builder with that 15, 20 minute segment next Wednesday. We also we had the Doma team on. That was really enjoyed that interview. As I said earlier, I did pin that up top if you missed it. Great interview with that team. Fred, also, by the way, yesterday was the last day that you could buy the AI domains at the lower cost. Those AI domains, they got more expensive going forward starting yesterday as far as premium domains go. And I'll wait for like maybe 60 seconds, 30, 60 seconds. If there's any other thoughts, comments, or anyone else wants to get in on anything we've talked about today, throw in the request or drop it in the chat. Otherwise, we'll give you all back a little bit of your Thursday morning. And busy day today. I am hopeful to get a title for an old Jeep I've owned and had to get a replacement title. And it's been like 3 weeks in the making. Supposed to arrive today. I would like to get that transaction done. It would be a hell of a lot easier if it was just on chain, and a digital on chain version of that would have been very helpful. Would be already done by now. I'm hopeful to get that. And then big lacrosse game tonight. Team is running strong. Not last 2 games they beat undefeated teams. Teams were undefeated going into the game. They've won both of those, and a little winning streak. And we got to play a rival tonight that's 6-2, I believe. Pretty good team that got the better of them in a preseason tournament, but not a real game. And I think if they play the way they've been playing, we should come out on top. But I want to hear these. Whenever you're ready, no pressure. But if you want to share your stories of getting abducted, beaten while handcuffed to a chair naked. Sorry, Diablito. He may. Otis may have you here. Diablito, the pipe attack. I've never, thankfully, never had to experience anything like that. Oh man, Duke, I'm sorry. It's all good, buddy. It's all good. Just me. The only thing that was close to that was in Acapulco for spring break in college, and one of my buddies got at a pipe swung at his head, and it was pretty scary. We also ended up in and if you ever go to Acapulco, stay at the resort. Don't go up in the mountains. We ended up in the mountains and saw someone like on a porch with an AK-47 and holding someone else that had died in their hands. That was my college spring break experience. Lucky to be here, probably. But yeah, I've never been tied naked to a chair. I feel like I feel obligated to shout out the show 24. I know we talked about that a few weeks ago, but I may have to run it back, especially if we're talking getting abducted by South American governments. It's also making me question my desire to buy property in Venezuela or even Costa Rica someday. But that's a story for another day. That said, enjoyed the show today. Appreciate y'all being here. If you haven't already, go give our sponsor Unvault some love. Their account is on the Spaces stage. There's also some pinned posts up top. As I mentioned, they have that space this afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern. We will be back tomorrow. 90% certain that we'll be live just like normal. There is still an outside shot. I decide to just drive to Ohio tonight. And if I do that, we'll be going audio only tomorrow. But I'm pretty sure I'm just going to book a flight over the weekend. It's the prudent thing to do. So we'll 95% sure we'll be back here like normal tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time. As always, Diablito says, I have a buddy like that with a story like that from Venezuela. Yeah. Only live once. Life's short. Let's take some risky moves. Not wasn't planning on putting my life in jeopardy, but time will tell. That said, enjoy your Thursday, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Go give our sponsors up top some love. Yeah, he wasn't naked though. So Otis so far is in the lead. Don't forget, if you haven't yet, drop your favorite or your proposed rapper name for Pain. And maybe I will play you out with the We'll run back the jingle twice today, and then after the jingle will be the outro. The people demand it, and I'm only going to Cincinnati, Jeremy. There's a couple other people in Cleveland that have also asked to meet up, but I'll be in the Cincinnati area. If anyone, I need to get a workout in, actually 2 a day to keep my. This is so bad. Like I definitely want to go spend some time, see my mother who just had a successful surgery and is in recovery. And in my head, I'm like, how am I going to do 75 hard for my mom's house? Bad son, thinking that's even popped in my brain that I don't want to break my 75 hard streak, which requires me to work out not once, but twice a day for at least 45 minutes. Story time with Cap quote opens on Friday. If anyone wants to talk about their muggings, not making light of what happened to Silly Tuna. Really hope he recovers not just physically, but also mentally. And if anyone has any other crazy stories like that, we may have our quote open topics for tomorrow lined up. With that, here is one more time Inside the Vault, and then you'll get the outro. And we will see you all tomorrow at 8 a.m. Have a great day, everyone.
Yo, inside the vault, put royalties back on chain. Enforcement went optional, we bringing it back again. Freeze it at the source, then you move it with ease. Claim it where you land, one live, no duplicate keys. No rappers, no doubles, identity stays intact. Clean ownership trail, royalties paid, that's a fact. No, one live, no duplicate keys.